Hi guys, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Miss Harrison. I am the Deputy Head of Sixth Form at Holmer Green Senior School and lead our EPQ provision. So welcome to this session on the EPQ and what to expect and how to best prepare yourself for beginning this journey. So why complete an EPQ? There are a number of really good reasons as to why you should undertake an EPQ. Firstly, it gives you the opportunity to explore a topic in detail beyond that of your curriculum. So it's one of the only opportunities you will have to genuinely study something that you pick, and you can then explore that interest in a greater level of depth and detail, and in a way that you might not be able to as a result of your other options. It does provide you with extra UCAS points, so it's worth slightly more UCAS points than an AS level is, because it has the opportunity to be awarded an A star, whereas AS levels you do not have that opportunity for that grade. Some universities, as a result, Southampton is an example, Bristol is another, will also reduce their offer to you if you have an EPQ. So say you were looking at studying a course that required you to obtain 3 A grades at A level or for your level 3 qualifications, and you undertook an EPQ and were awarded an A grade in that, they would then likely reduce your offer from 3 A's to 2 A's and a B. So it really does have an impact on your potential future, especially if you're looking to go to university. Universities like it because of the skills it teaches you, and I'll go into that in a little bit more detail. So in order to be successful with EPQ, you have to be very well organised, you have to be an independent learner and resilient, because it's not easy and you will find yourself becoming frustrated with it at some points, but ultimately the end product is something to be incredibly proud of. And because you have learnt how to avoid plagiarism, how to reference your work, how to structure a piece of academic work on a bigger scale than you will have ever had to do before, universities then know they don't have to teach you those skills, and that's why they value it so highly. It might be something that you personally want to investigate, and therefore have a personal link to you and your future career, particularly if you're looking to explore architecture. Creating an artifact is a really good way into that, and is something that we don't offer as a standalone subject, so this can also be a route to help you get to where you want to be in your chosen career. Essentially, completing an EPQ will make you a better candidate for university, for your apprenticeship, and for your future career aspirations. It's something that can really help you stand out and make your CVs and your applications very distinctive by showing that you have the commitment to follow something like this through, as well as the tenacity to keep going when things get tough and to take on board new knowledge and new skills. So what will you study? This is entirely up to you. There are 4 routes to choose from when completing an EPQ. Most people tend to opt with the first choice, which is a dissertation. So you then have to produce a piece of work that's essentially an essay-based question that you research yourself, look at the different lines of argument. So there has to be a point of conflict within an EPQ. So common ones are centred around controversial ethical topics like how effective is capital punishment? Is it moral? Is it ethical? Fox hunting, should it be banned? Yes, no. So there's that point of conflict and controversy that usually make outstanding EPQs. An investigation, this is your scientific route, so you come up with a hypothesis and then use scientific method to test it. An artifact, this is where you produce something, so as I said before, this can link with architecture, but it can also be things like producing a poetry book. That counts as an artifact, so it's something concrete. that we then send off photos to the exam board, or a performance. This can be a music piece or a dance piece. So you then decide which of the 4 routes you're going to follow, and then we work together with your mentor to help narrow down your area of study to make it reasonable to be produced in the time frame that you have and in the kind of word count that you have as well. But essentially it's a free choice. On this slide, you've got a number of examples of very successful EPQs. The bottom one is one of my favourites and produced an outstanding project that was actually kept by the exam board. So we use Edexcel, and they decided that this piece of work on the grammar school system was so thoroughly researched that they now use it at their training events as an exemplar model of an outstanding EPQ dissertation. So we're very proud of the work that we do get submitted for EPQ, and we do achieve incredibly good results because we end up with students who are investigating things that they care about and are really passionate about, and that then comes across in the level of research that they do and the way they complete their write-up. You really get the sense that these projects are very personal, so trying to come at it objectively but whilst having that personal interest in things is really important. Have a look at some of these questions. Some might appeal to you, some you might be thinking that's not for me. That's fine. These are just some examples for you to look at and take away. So how will you be taught? We only run the EPQ with Year 12 students. Sometimes in exceptional cases we will take on a Year 13 student, but we like you to have your results for your UCAS applications, your university applications. So we run this as a course in Year 12. You will have 1 hour a week with myself and 1 hour a week with Mrs. Golding. To start with, we teach you the core skills you need in order to be successful on this course. So how to write an effective introduction, how to structure your projects, where to conduct your research, how to test whether or not your research is reliable or trustworthy, etc. Then you complete the bulk of the write-up or the creation of your artifact or the testing of your hypothesis yourself, before we then have an overall presentation which is awarded grades towards the end of the course, whereby those weekly hour slots with your teachers become progress checks and presentation slots. You will also need to find a mentor. So throughout this process, you will be mentored by a member of staff who is a specialist in your area. So if you're looking to complete a history project, you need to find a history teacher. If you're looking to complete a psychology project, you need to approach the psychology teacher. They will then meet with you no more than once a fortnight, but they are your sounding board. You shouldn't be going to them with problems. You should be going to them with, I've come up to face this problem, but I'm thinking about doing this. Would you recommend that? So they are kind of your check. They are not to lead you through this, and it is your responsibility to arrange those mentor meetings and to interact with that member of staff in a professional manner, but you have this timetabled support to help you through your EPQ. So we use the Edexcel exam board, and projects are marked out of 50. It's broken down into 4 sections. So planning and problems you faced and solutions you've used to overcome those problems, how you have essentially reacted to the ups and downs of an EPQ, that's marked out of 9. You then have to complete a literature review. This is where you scrutinise your sources for reliability and accuracy. You need to synthesise them. So does this support a different source? Can can they be backed up with each other, and therefore that makes them more reliable because you've got 5 sources saying the exact same thing, therefore you can trust it. That's worth 12 marks potentially. The writing up of your findings, that is 24 marks, and then your evaluation, your reflection on the process. So what would you do differently next time? What went well? How could this be expanded in the future if you had more time? What were any problems in your methodologies? Any issues that you had to overcome? And that's where you have to deliver a presentation, usually to myself, Mrs. Golding, maybe your mentor, and that's worth 9 marks. So overall, it's out of 54. You can see that for each of the different routes, there are different grade boundaries. So an A star for a dissertation is 49 and for an artifact is 49, but for a scientific investigation and a performance, it's 47. We usually achieve 100% A star to C's. So we do have students on this course who work incredibly hard to achieve their potential and therefore give themselves the best chance of being successful at their chosen future paths. So what do you need to do before September? Well, you need to get prepared. So you will have an EPQ handbook and you will be given worksheets to complete in your EPQ lessons. Therefore, it's important that you buy a folder and bring equipment to class, so any highlighters, pens, stationery, etc. You need to complete the bridging work. There is a course on a website entitled Future Learn, which might also give you some ideas about any projects you might wish to investigate. There's tons of courses on there to give you some hints, and you can break it down, but in order to be accepted onto this course, you need to complete your EPQ course that's linked on the screen. We also ask that you consider what route you would like to take. Are you looking to do a performance? Are you looking to make an artifact? Are you going to use the dissertation route or the scientific investigation route? So think about what route you'd like to take, then consider a topic. It can be a fairly broad topic. It can even just be subject related. So you might say you want to become a teacher, therefore you be looking to complete an EPQ in education, or you want to become a lawyer and you're thinking about completing an EPQ in law. Then you can have a think about which mentor you might need to find when you come in to school and start this in September. Also come with the right attitude. If you talk to former EPQ students, they will tell you that it's one of the hardest things that they've done in their time in education, but it's also one of the most rewarding, and seeing the progress that you make it's incredible. So you will have to be resilient. There will be times when you're going to want to give up, but you need to have that positive attitude to keep going and to make sure that you produce something that you're proud of at the end of the course. Frequently asked questions. So often students will say, can we work together? You can't. Even if you are doing a performance piece which requires an ensemble, you have to be solely responsible for that EPQ. So whilst you can have other people in your performance, your dance, you have to be the orchestrator of that performance, the choreographer of that performance, and you can't have any input from any other students who are also completing EPQs. That goes against the exam board's requirements, so no. You can research in a subject that you already study, but we cannot have you completing an EPQ on something that is covered extensively in your syllabus. So we have to be very careful, and we have to sign off paperwork that says that there is no overlap with anything you've already studied, to the point where you would be unfairly advantaged in completing an EPQ in that area. And are lessons compulsory? Yes, you will be registered for your EPQ lessons every week. And just like for other subjects, you end up with effort grades, which will affect your right to roam status, so it's really important that you keep your attendance high and you keep engaging with myself, Mrs. Golding, and your mentor throughout the process. So that's it from me. If you have any questions about the course, about our expectations of you, about where you should be at, and any of the bridging work from Future Learn, then don't hesitate to get in touch. My email address is on the screen, and I look forward to hearing from you and to having some great projects ready to go and begin in the new academic year.